Alrighty, here we've got Gleylancer being played on Xbox Series X. Curious if Relic Games, we've got this as well as Gynoug we're going to look at as a double pack. I covered both these games on the Switch, I believe a year or two ago at this point. I'm revisiting them here on the Xbox Series X, Curious if Relic Games. I beat both of these games, and I like this game over the other game, Gynoug, and I'll go over why when we get to that one. But starting with Gleylancer, I really like this game. For those who have never played it, it's a side-scrolling shmup. It was released on the Sega Genesis, I believe, back in the day. I'm going to go ahead and start off with this save here. So you have two option turrets you can pick up that you can choose how they move, which is pretty cool. So you can have them search for enemies. You can do multi-direction reverse. So if you go forward, they go backwards, which can be kind of handy. Weapon pickups, you can make them shadow you, which is kind of nice. This is reminiscent. This game actually is entirely reminiscent of Gradius 3. Especially with the way these options or these turrets behave. Now you can rewind at any time, which is definitely handy. So if you want to keep the weapon you've got, you have that option. You can also make them roll, which is kind of nice. I prefer to have them be multi. Now, let's say, for instance, you get through the game and you want to change some things up. So you can come into gameplay, you can change the gameplay mode to modern, from modern to, say, vintage. Vintage, the game works exactly the way it was in the Japanese release. You can't rewind. There's no enhancements. The achievements are disabled for those consoles that support achievements. And you have debug mode, which is really kind of neat, and I'll get into that in a second. But let's say, for instance, you wanted to change rewind speed. You can do that up to 2 times, which is kind of cool. But you can change the wallpaper as well if you wanted to. So let's say I wanted space. Let's say I wanted it to be 100% brightness. And let's say I wanted to do full screen on the display. Yeah, let's do full screen on the display. Okay, we're going to go ahead and resume game, and this is what it looks like that way, which is kind of neat. Now, obviously, with it being full screen, the border, if you will, is only going to show up when you pause, which is kind of cool. Kind of neat. You can control the speed of how fast your ship flies, which is kind of cool with the left and right triggers. So you might be able to maneuver more delicately. You can do that. If you're going to be able to be super fast, you can do that too. Kind of nice. Graphically, I really like the way the game looks. It feels like a retro shmup, which obviously it is. I mean, I've covered this game previously. I'm not going to go too in-depth into it, other than it's a really cool game. And a game I would definitely recommend if you're a fan of shmups, if you are a fan of the original game. It's definitely a really nice way to enjoy the game. Easy enough achievements to get. For a relatively easy gamer score, especially with that rewind feature. Definitely handy, for sure. Now, going back to the debug feature, down here to gameplay, change that to debug. So invincibility is an option now, but also debug menu is an option now. It's changed to cheater mode. Yes, I'll change it to cheater mode. And then you gotta start the entire game over again in cheater mode, which is kind of neat. So when you do that, right, pick whatever you want, and the stage starts, stage 1. Now, with debug mode, you can decide what difficulty you want it at. That's the rank. Decide how fast you're on your ship to be able to move, where you can hold speed. You can do the mover type. You can do what type of gun the gun, or what kind of bullet, kind of weapon the gun has, which could, options have, which is kind of cool. You choose how many lives you have. You pick the stage. So I wanted to pick a stage 4. And let's say I wanted 2 gunners. Let's say I want a missile on. And that's what I want to do. So now the game's going to start on stage 4 with all those options selected. That's pretty cool. Pretty neat way to pick how you want to play the game. Kind of nice, actually. Really kind of neat. Now my playthrough, I never actually got the missiles, so I'm wondering if that's just a debug menu option alone. Like there's no other way to get them, because I've never gotten them besides going through the debug. So, interesting thing to have added here. So yeah, it's debug mode. Pretty neat. Pretty neat feature. Now, I'll show you some of those stages here. Show you how crazy this game can be. Oops. Didn't want to die. Didn't want to die. I do want that weapon though. I really like this weapon here. The bound weapon. That's probably my favorite weapon because of the fact that the bullets bounce. Now, what's cool about this version of the game though as well is that you can use the right analog stick if you want to independently control the optional turrets, which is nice. And the guns above keep killing me. The music's great. I love the music. Again, the graphics are awesome. I love the debug feature. I think it's kind of a neat feature to have. Again, very easy way to get a gamer score. Pretty easy achievements to get. Not to mention fun. I mean, if there was no rewind feature, I could say, yeah, it'd probably be very frustrating trying to get all these achievements, especially the one for the good ending. But given the fact you have the debug mode, given the fact you have the ability to rewind, the game is pretty easy to get through. Now, that's the complete opposite for the next game in the series, which is Gynoug, I think that's how you say it. Sorry, not the series, but in the double pack, the collection you get here with these games. I'm going to actually go ahead and just pop over to that here. Hang on. Alright, so this is Gynoug. Similar kind of thing with the previous game. You've got cheats here. You have retained weapons, unlimited credits, infinite lives, infinite magic, invincibility. I have all that on because why not? Right speed set to 1x. I can just do 2x if I wanted to. Same kind of display options you have with the last game, or the other game in this collection with this one. Very similar. With the exception of there being no debug menu in this game as there is in Gleylancer. But this game is I'm gonna go ahead and just do this one here. This game is just like the other game, a side-scrolling shmup. The difference here is the stages or rounds in this case are a heck of a lot longer. Each round is right around 5 to 6 minutes to beat each, which is kind of long, honestly. Especially, I mean, if you played this back in the day, I can only imagine how long it would take you to beat the game. But again, this is a game I covered previously on my channel, I think like 2 years ago at this point on the Switch. Can't believe it's been that long. And here I am revisiting it here on the Xbox Series X. And the achievements offered in this game are pretty good. They're a lot more frustrating, I think, to get, especially if you didn't have the rewind feature. Because, again, each stage takes like 4 to 5 minutes to beat. And there are a total of 10 stages. So, there you go. There's a good, over an hour of every time. And that's if you can get through them all without dying, without having to rewind, without having to, lose everything. So, it can be pretty time-consuming. But you do have the ability to use save states, which is nice. So you do have the ability to, pick up and come back to where you left off if you want to do that, to do a perfect run, if you will. But I mean, even so, if it's just sometimes it's hard to save a state and then come back to it, especially if you're in the middle of getting, bombarded with enemies or what have you. There are two weapons. There is this weapon here. This is the red one, I believe, and the blue one is the center spread shot. And those levels up there determine how powerful the shot is. And again, this is 10 rounds or 10 levels at about 5 to 6 minutes. Well, I would say 4 to 6 minutes, conservatively, to beat each level. Now that's if you didn't have invincibility on. If you didn't have invincibility on like I do, and admittedly I didn't find this out until after I beat the game, that would have been a heck of a lot easier. Even then, you're still looking at good 4 to 5 minutes per stage. You can shave off about a minute or two from each stage with the invincibility and everything turned on. Now, what's cool about that, though, is that it doesn't affect the achievements, which is nice. So you don't have to worry about using the cheats and not getting the achievements, which is cool. So I guess, again, easy gamer score if you just want to sit here and go get through each stage. It's a decent game. It's a decent shmup. It's fun. It reminds me of Legendary Wings, like I previously said in my last review a couple years back. It definitely has that feel to it, and it's a good game. It's a crazy game. In fact, if I go ahead and just show you, so here's I believe this is the 6th stage. Okay, this is the 6th stage. Looks like you're inside of like an alien or a monster or something. And then here is later in that same stage. I mean, can you imagine if you didn't have your invincibility on? If I didn't have invincibility, this would just be crazy. And extremely frustrating. Because there's a lot of enemies to pop up and surround you and just... Yeah, there's a lot coming at you all at once. And then... this here is the last stage. This is really just a boss rush. So the 10th stage, after you beat the game, it's just a boss rush. You just go backwards through time, going through each boss. So every boss you've ever encountered, it's right here for you, one after the other. I mean, I appreciate the fact that it gives you like weapon upgrades if you didn't use cheats. you can grab those and move on to the next boss. But yeah, pretty decent game, like I said. Gleylancer I like better. But Gynoug here isn't bad as well. And you can get both games in one cool collection. I believe it's also available separately, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Available on Switch, Xbox Series X, PS4, I believe, and Steam as well. So I definitely encourage you to pick them up. I want to thank Red Light Games for their opportunity. I want to thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing. As always, next time, take care and happy gaming.